This is my guide to assembling British National Supers and brood boxes. They're a little bit different to any other kind of hive because they're British national hives, and as you know, being British, we have to be different and we have to make things a little bit more difficult for ourselves. So I'm going to try and take the mystique out of it and show you a very simple step-by-step guide. The hive here is fully assembled, so you can see what we're aiming at here. With the ones that we do, actually, the roofs and the floors are always fully assembled, so you don't need to worry about that. It's just these little fellas that you have the option of getting them already assembled or assembling yourselves. And really, it isn't that difficult. So here we are. This is what should be in your package. This is a brood box, but the same goes for supers as well. We have 2 runners. Now, some of the hive that we sell don't have the metal runners, they just have the wooden runners. There is no difference in the assembly, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that later. So we have the nails here, we have the 2 end boards here, and then we have the 2 side boards here, and then we have the 4 side bars here, and I'll tell you a little bit more about those in a moment. You will also need, during assembly, you'll need some weatherproof glue here. Any sort will do as long as it's weatherproof. You'll need a hammer, a mallet or a piece of wood to hammer against. You'll need a measure, ideally of some sort, and a cloth just to wipe away the glue, and I think then you're ready to go. So let's make a start. First of all, with your glue and the 4 side pieces, just put some glue there, plenty of it. That's what the cloth is for later. There we go, like that. Right, that's done. Next, I'll just show you what we're doing first. Now, if you see these are the 2 bottom bars, because you can see the bevel edge at the top, and if you look at this hive here, it will give you an idea of exactly what we're aiming at. The bottom bar here, as you can see, the bevel edge is sloping outwards so that all the rain and the weather slopes away from your box. So I'm just popping that in there like that, and as you can see, the bevel goes outwards. Can you see that? Then we do the other side. Like this. You can always use a little tap on a mallet if it's, should be quite rigid. And then the 2 top pieces. Now, as you can see, they are this shape, and so this is the outside. This is where the runner will sit across. So this just goes in there like that, and then the same with the other side there. I'll just lift it up in a moment so you can see what I've just done. So can you see that? That shows you a little bit more clearly. Once you've got that right, then that's a lot of the battle done. Okay, then with the other end board, just pop those in line like that, and then okay. So far, so good. Can you see? And the same the other end, like that. Okay, the next are these side runners here. So this is where, just wipe that bit of glue away. Here are the actual runners. As you can see, I'm going to lay these on one end and I'm going to just pin them into position. Now I'll just lift it up and show you in a moment. It might be clearer. So what you can see is I have an equal distance there to this here, so it's right in the middle there. I'm just going to finish pinning. And the same with the other one. So as you can see, right bang in the middle with the same gap there. There we are. Then with these rebates here, down there, a little bead of glue all the way down both sides, like that. Here we are. I have a chap at work that does this for us, and he can do one of these in about, I don't know, less than a minute, I'd say. Unbelievable. But there we are. That goes down there like that, and I'll just show you. I'll just lift it up in a moment and you can see how far you tap it. In the runner like that. Okay, now what you need to remember is most national hives are what we call bottom space. So that means there's room for the bees to walk around below the frames, but not on top of the side, on top of the top bars. So for that reason, it's useful to get a frame, something like this, and just lay it on your runners like this. So what you need is a tiny gap, so it's a little bit, as you can see, that side is a little bit proud. So I'm gonna just tap that down, and as you can see, that's probably about 2 millimeters, something like that, below the top. Same on that side, maybe a little tap there like that. The other side is a little bit low, so I'm just going to I think that might just do it. Being a bit critical will pay off later. I'll tell you for why. If it's a little bit too high, then bees are great gluers. They got their own glue, propolis, and they will start gluing it all to the top and all the rest of it, and both the boxes will stick together and the frames will stick to the other box. It'll get to be a bit of a nightmare. So just leave that little 2 mil there, and I think we're ready for the next step. Okay, the next thing is quite simply the pinning. So I've counted, and I think you need 20 nails per box, whether it's a super or a national. And as you can see, the 2 joints are here, and the side board is about there. So I'm gonna put 1 nail in like that, just below the joint there. One in the middle. Every beekeeper's got their own particular preference on where the nails go, whether you need nails, whether you need screws. I find this will suffice. Some people put a few more nails here and there, but I really think this will suffice. Maybe I got it wrong actually, maybe it's less than 20. So, nearly finished. If you want to use a nail punch, you can too, just to get the heads below the surface in case you want to paint it. Right, and finally, just to show you actually, on these hives, this is what I mean by bottom space. You can see the little rebate there, so there's a tiny gap there for the bees, and obviously the gap that you would have on the box that it lays upon will be enough for your bees. So, next, finally, you place a nail here, just in the middle of that joint of the side bars, and then pop those if you notice, I'm doing it at the base of the joint there, and I'm slightly angling the nail outwards. This is just to reduce any risk of the wood splitting. Very unlikely to anyway. This is a pine hive, however the cedar hives are exactly the same process. So there we are, that's all done. That's one box completed. And finally, I'm going to briefly explain the subtle difference between the metal frame runners that I just showed you there and the bevel-edged wooden runners. So the difference is everything is exactly the same apart from these two sideboards. If you can see, the ends of the wooden boards are slightly bevel-edged outwards, a little bit like the bottom bars there, the side bars. So the reason for that is the bevel edge pointing inwards will allow the frames to run freely, and exactly the same thing goes. I'm going to put the frame in there, and that's actually about perfect. Yeah, spot on that. Just before I go, just to make sure you have your boxes square, get a measure and just go over the corner to corner there. It should be about 64.5. So I'm just going to give that a little squash, and that's 64.5 there and 64.5 there. So it's the same anyway, the same distance there. Or the other way of doing it, of course, is just to sit that on a floor and see if it lies square with the floor, assuming the floor is true. Okay, thanks for watching.